Hi everyone, welcome to Awkward Author. My name is Alyssa Grasso, and this is my weekly vlog and podcast about my sometimes awkward, always awesome author life. And so I'm coming to you from the midst of, just a very crazy time of year for me, very busy. I've tried to angle this for those of you that are watching the video. I've tried to angle it so you don't see the mound of like cardboard boxes and whatnot that I have in the corner of the office. I say corner, but it's really taking over the room at this point. It's just there's stuff coming in every day. There's stuff going out. There's all kinds of stuff going on really right now, and it's a little intense and a little hectic, and it'll be like this for the next few weeks, and then things calm down. So I enjoy what I do, but also I am looking forward to things slowing down again soon. And I'm talking about my day job of selling stuff on the internet, which is why I'm so busy this time of year, because of course it's the time of year when people are just buying. Anyway, so obviously with all that going on, the books and the writing and the author stuff kind of gets put to the back burner. I mean, I don't ignore it completely, but there's just not quite as many hours in the week to get things done. So that's where I'm at. The other thing is that right now I'm still continuing to struggle with the book that I'm working on, and I made a decision the other day. I don't know, I'm still considering it, but I think this is what I'm going to do. So as I've said, I've been working on a trilogy meaning 3 books, with a storyline that goes through the 3 books, and then, also storylines in each book. It's, in the thriller, mystery, crime, whatever genre. So, you have like individual mysteries in each book, and then one that goes through the series of 3 books. At least it's always been 3 books, and that's what I was always planning for. And as I have been struggling with the book that I'm working on, which would be the 3rd book in the series, the 3rd and final book, I came to a conclusion. This was the other day. This was yesterday, actually. And so this could change. Who knows? Maybe I'm just delirious from all the stuff that's going on, in my day job stuff. But I made the decision that this would work so much better as 4 books instead of 3 books. Now, like 3 is just such a nice, neat thing. You have a trilogy. It's a very standard kind of, way of grouping books together in a series, and, kind of follows maybe the 3-act structure or something. But I was just struggling there was too much going on in this book, as I said, and I introduced something else, so then that, kind of added more to it, and, what I introduced made sense, but also at the same time, it was a little bit, it was just like, complicated things so much further, that I had, some real concerns about the story becoming too confusing and too convoluted. And ultimately, I realized that, with the storyline that goes through the 3 books, that I would have to wrap up in the 3rd book if it was going to be a trilogy. I was really going to be like kind of cramming things in there and like forcing it, like rushing it to a conclusion, I guess I will say. I mean, I know, it doesn't seem like it's rushed because it's already like been dragged out over 3 books, but like I said, there are, other stories that, within each book. So this is kind of like a B story, if you will, or something. Anyway, I came to the conclusion that it would work a lot better if I could do it as 4 books, and with the 4th one kind of more focused on that, that bringing that mystery to a conclusion. I mean, there'll be other stuff in it too, but that would be like kind of the main focus of that book, and it would hopefully all, come together and make sense. So yeah, that was the decision I've made. I have not done any further writing with that in mind, but I did do some, outlining and sketching out some things because, the ideas were fresh in my mind. I wanted to jot some stuff down, but also to see if like it would really work. And so I'm not 100%, firmly decide that that's what I'm going to do, but I'm very strongly leaning towards that at this point. So, yeah, I surprised myself, and we'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe this was a bad idea. I don't know. I just felt like, I was just like forcing this story to, forcing it to a conclusion. And it's not that I don't want to stop writing these books or something. I don't want it, drag it out. But at the same time, I think it will make for a stronger story, whatever, a stronger series overall. So yeah, I might be putting out a series of 4 books as opposed to a series of 3 books. And so one of the fears that I have, I guess, is that, this could flop. This could be, a total dud. I have no idea how it's going to sell or anything like that. So, obviously it's a lot of work to put out 3 books that are going to be a flop, but to put out 4 that are going to be a flop is like an even bigger thing. And, am I crazy to do this? I don't know. But I think it's a good story. I think, that once I do finish writing this whole series, I think it will be a good series, and I think it can succeed if, with the right marketing and whatnot. So yeah, that I think is what I'm gonna go for, guys. Yeah, wow. So obviously, big decision, big change, and it'll obviously delay me in getting this book out, because like I said, I want to have them all done before, done and ready to go before I even release the first one. That's the plan. So yeah, it was taking me long enough to do 3, and now I'm gonna do 4. Who knows? So yeah, that is my decision. So I don't know when I'm gonna finish these. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get them all edited and get them out there, but it'll be sometime in 2020. Maybe not as early in the year as I was initially planning on getting them out there. But yeah, and I've been thinking too along those lines about, publishing them, about, what I want to do to market them. As I said, I've been listening to Paul Teague's podcast. He has been doing a rapid release now. The first stage of his rapid release, he was putting out a book every week, pretty intense, both new releases and some re-releases of books that he'd already published, but putting them out under new names. So yeah, a relentless pace. And Paul's most recent podcast, it's a long one, but if you have some time, definitely worth listening to, because he does his regular weekly update, and then he goes into a more thorough look at, his rapid release, how it went, if he'd do it again, what he'd do differently, what worked, what didn't work, that sort of thing. And so very interesting, very good thing to listen to. I'd kind of already made the decision from when Paul first started talking about his rapid release that there was no way I could do, putting out a book a week type of thing. And, everybody's different. What works for one person, might not work for someone else. But I know myself. I know that, I still have, like I said, I have a day job, day business. So, writing is not a full-time thing. And even if it was, I don't know that I would want to do, putting out a book a week. It's a lot of work and pretty intense, and you don't really get a chance to catch your breath when you're doing that, because, and it's not even just putting out a book a week. You're also, trying to work on the next stuff too. So it's not just everything that's involved in putting a book out there, which is a lot, but also trying to write the next book, or whatever you're working on next. So yeah, it's not for me. I know that. But like I said, Paul is now into the phase of his releasing where he's putting out a book. The next books he's putting out, one each month or each 28 days, and that is a pace I think I can handle, at least for putting out this series of books, series of 3, series of 4, whatever it turns out to be. I think I could do that, and so that is definitely my plan for those books, is to put the first one out, then put the next one out in another 28 days, and then 28 days after that, the third. and possibly 28 days after that, the 4th. And then I do want to, because this is a series, the first one is really, that's the key to market that one, because, I would assume that most people are going to read, I would hope, the first book, first, and then hopefully go on and read the others. So definitely want to focus a lot of my marketing on that first book, and thinking about, the things to do, first of all, just the things around doing the release, getting as much of a push as I can for that, thinking about pricing it, like, I don't want to put it out as a freebie, initially anyway, and I was thinking, put it at like $1.99. Then I'm thinking, well, what I might do is put it at $1.99 for like the first week, maybe try to, with that sort of scarcity mindset, drive up sales, and then bump the price up to $2.99. I want to, at some point, hopefully, get like a BookBub on it once I have the rest of the series out, so I can put that out, and then, as a freebie, and run a BookBub promo to it, and then get, hopefully read-through sales. But that would be, later down the line. So, to get that, I definitely want to have it, like, not be a free book initially, and would it be better if it was $2.99 or $1.99? I don't know. So stuff I've just been like mulling over in my head, and I haven't really come up with a formal strategy yet, but I've been jotting down some stuff, some things that I'd like to do as far as marketing and advertising and all that. Obviously, I have a mailing list, so I'd be reaching out to, the mailing list subscribers too, and yeah, it's a lot of work. It'll be, I want to, do everything I can to make sure that the book is, to make sure the series is a success. And so, a lot of thought has to go into this. And obviously, I haven't finished the series, finished writing it, and that would be finished writing a first draft. So I'm getting ahead of myself, maybe thinking about this stuff. But I do want to take some time to think about it, so that I'm not feeling like rushed or feeling like I'm, missing out on opportunities or things like that. So anyway, that's just me rambling about some thoughts about putting out my first ever series, which was going to be a 3-book series, and now maybe it's going to be a 4-book series. So yeah, bit of author drama that played out on social media this week, and probably if you're not heavily involved in the young adult community on Twitter, you probably would have missed it. But what happened was, there was a news article that came out. I don't know if it was in an alumni publication or what it was. It was talking about at a particular college, their community read program. How they have those like one book, one community type events, and this was like a college-wide reading selection, I guess. And so I didn't read the whole article, because I read the part that got shared. But anyway, it was like an interview with someone who was on the selection committee for what book they chose for, for that everyone was going to read that year, or whatever semester, or however it works. And this person who was on, the committee, she was talking about, I guess, like, why she got involved or something like that, and, how they chose books or whatever. And she said, right in the article, that at one point somebody wanted to have a Sarah Dessen book read, and her comment, was, and she wasn't, she wasn't okay with that, and, she joined the committee because she wanted to make sure they never picked a Sarah Dessen book. And I think she made some disparaging mark, like, oh, that's fine for teen girls, but, that's not right for us, or something along those lines. And for those of you who are not familiar, Sarah Dessen is a young adult author. She writes books for teens that have, a female protagonist. I wouldn't call them, like, fluffy books. They're maybe not, they're not gritty, controversial sort of books, but they do tackle some tough subjects, and I don't know. I've read some Sarah Dessen books. They're definitely in the young adult genre. I mean, definitely teen girls are their primary market, but I would not be dismissive of them. I mean, whether you've read them or not, obviously they're not for everyone. No book is for everyone, but the article was pretty harsh. I mean, this person's comment was pretty harsh about, a well-known author. And Sarah's been publishing for years. She's got a ton of books out there. I mean, she's a very successful author. And, I don't like when people like single out, a group and are dismissive of them. And Teen Girl seems to be a group that people are very dismissive of on a regular basis, which seems unfair. And of course, I don't think any of us are okay with somebody just like singling out an author and making like a really rude, disparaging comment like that. And there are different ways to handle it. I mean, obviously, I think if this person, was doing it over, she might have said, well, they picked a book that I didn't think was a good read, good choice, and wasn't the sort of thing that we would want, and so that's why I joined the committee. And she didn't have to, single out, an author like Sarah Dessen and just kind of like say some rude, obnoxious thing about her. So how I found out about this is because Sarah Dessen, who I follow on Twitter, posted something about it, and she had like a little screenshot of the article, like just a portion of the article, the portion that mentioned her. So it didn't have the name of the person making the comment, and Sarah's comment was, like stuff like this hurts or something, and she was upset by it. Who wouldn't be if somebody said that about your books? And so of course, everybody that follows Sarah and knows Sarah saw this. A lot of people commented on it. I think I commented on it because it was just rude. It was a very rude, obnoxious, thing that somebody said about her. Now the trauma comes in is that I guess some people, took it a step further and, they read the whole article. They found out the person's name who said this, made some disparaging remarks about her, using some strong language, which again, not necessary. Just like it's not necessary, for the person who was quoted in the article to have singled out Sarah by name. It's not necessary to say, such things to, about someone. And so, I guess Sarah might have liked those comments or commented on them. So she, so then in this ensuing, snowball that has, it has become, then people were, saying, well, Sarah's, being horrible because she's like singling out this graduate student who made this comment and, saying, is agreeing with like horrible things that were said about her and stuff. And, again, she didn't start it. And, I guess maybe it was wrong of her to like comments that were, pretty vile in their own right. But, I think it's just a good reminder to keep in mind what you're saying nowadays, especially with the internet. Stuff gets out there. If you're going to post something that's like rude or obnoxious about somebody else, reconsider it. And if you're singling out, an author or a particular book, maybe don't do that. It might not have been for you, and obviously not every book is for you, but to single out an author like that just seems like a very bad idea. Obviously Sarah's very successful. She has a lot of fans. They're not gonna take kindly to somebody being very dismissive of her books like that. So that's my 2 cents on the whole subject. Obviously, there was some bad behavior on both sides. But I think Sarah had every right to be upset. I don't think, those comments were really an appropriate thing. And I hope that the person who said that, regrets what they said and thinks more about that, going forward about, being really mean to someone else just because they happen to be a public figure and, not writing in the style or genre that you like, doesn't mean that they're a bad author or that their books are inappropriate for something like a community read. And it's actually kind of a shame because I think, especially something like that, reading books from other perspectives, like, books that are focused on teen girl issues, might actually be something that would be useful for a community read. And it's good for us to kind of get outside our own world and maybe experience some other things once in a while. Just my 2 cents on the whole subject. But keep in mind what you say out there and what you know, who you single out as someone who you are dismissive of, because it'll probably get back to them at some point, especially in this day and age. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap that up. My phone battery's about to die. I've got a million things I've got to do here, and yeah, it's a crazy time of year, and now I might be writing 4 books instead of 3 books, so I've got a lot on my plate. But thank you guys for watching and listening. I put out new episodes of Awkward Author each week. It's available as a vlog and as a podcast. If you would like to know more about me, you can check out my website, which is alyssagrosso.com. That's ALISSAGROSSO.com. So thank you again, and have a great week, everyone. I will catch up with you again next week. Bye for now.